Alright YouTube, so we were back, of course, talking about some Square Enix information, and what we have today is I came across yet another trademark when it comes to Square Enix. Now, before we even get into the video, before we even continue the discussion, I'm not just going to keep making videos about trademarks. It seems like Square Enix is putting out a lot of trademarks lately, and they're not all going to pertain to FF7 or Remake or even Final Fantasy, and that's really all we're here to talk about on the channel, right? So theoretically, this should be the last video we do in regards to just general trademark information, unless it's something that does pertain to FF7 or Remake. But part of why I wanted to cover this and talk about it is because finding this trademark or the article talking about this trademark led me to a patent that Square Enix has for some sort of upcoming mobile game. And why that matters is because a lot of people have speculated that, with Ever Crisis and the First Soldier and the Shinra logo being trademarked, and one of those could be in regards to some sort of mobile game for Final Fantasy VII or Remake. Now, the new trademark we're looking at today is for something called the Isle Dragon Roars, and it was filed last year in November 2020. This could pertain to so many things. I can't even definitively say that it'd be something that's Final Fantasy related. You're talking about Square Enix and dragons, that could be several different IPs. The Japanese version of the trademark can be translated to the Dragon Isle or Dragon Island, which doesn't really give us any more information either. All we can derive from this is whatever it is, whether it's a brand new game in general, or some sort of DLC expansion for some already ongoing game, that it would be an island with dragons. That's about all we can get from this. Anyways, on to the patent for the mobile game. Now, it goes without saying, this is a patent. It's a lot of legal, technical speak. There's a shit ton of text that just is hard to understand. I guess you gotta be like a lawyer or something, or a business person to really understand a lot of this shit. But there are some images which we're going to look at. That's the important part. So right here with the first image, we have a pretty generic looking battle screen, the characters that you control, the enemy, the battle info up here, probably like the enemy's health bar. You have your character stats down here, and probably the commands you can use during battle, attacks, magic, items, whatever it might be. Pretty generic looking, nothing too significant here. Here we have what appears to be like the home screen of the game, which there's the mission option, the party organization option, the mastery option, which is kind of a prevalent theme throughout a lot of this patent. There's also like this master-student dynamic, which we're going to look at in just a minute. The fourth option with the 3 asterisks could be either them trying to potentially hide what the fourth option could be. Maybe it's a little too obvious what the game would be. Or it could be like an option that leads to more menus, maybe like the options menu, the settings, things like that. Here we have what appears to be a character select screen, or probably that party organization option we just looked at from that menu patent. And as you can see in the top left, there's the master character. The top right is the student character. And I also find it a bit interesting just because it's only showing 2 characters up top, despite it seeming like you can control 3 characters in combat. But again, this menu could be something else. It may not be the party organization menu. It could be for something else entirely. This could be an entirely different menu from setting up your party, where you pair 2 characters together, one being the master, obviously one being the student, because there is this relationship dynamic to whatever this mobile game is that's all over this patent. Here's another menu that shows a bunch of master-student combinations. Not really a whole lot to talk about here, but maybe it's just different teams you can have or something. So right here we have what appears to be another menu, and as you can see with the top option, relationship setting unit. Maybe that leads you to that master-student menu. You put 2 characters together, it builds up the relationship. Maybe they fight together, and maybe they get stronger combination attacks. I don't know. We then also have the ability setting unit, training control unit, battle control unit, display control unit. I'm assuming these are all unit probably means the buttons, like the button you tap on your screen to lead you to those things. Like you tap ability setting unit, takes you to the ability screen. Training control takes you to the training. Here we have what appears to be a skill menu for a character, maybe where you go to learn the skills or abilities for your character. There seems to be a progress bar. It also says Training A on the bottom, Training B, and then it says Training TT instead of Training C. So that TT might be specific to something. I just have no idea what it would be. Here we have an example list of some passive skills that could be in the game, some attack increases for the party, some defense increases for the party. Movement speed up, increases movement speed of host single unit by 50%. Detoxification, host single unit. Does not receive poison attack for 60 seconds from start of combat. And to be honest, that's probably all we need to look at in terms of the images that come with the patent. There's other things, kind of showing you how the game would work, the menus would work, things like that, but we don't really need to look at it. And other than the master-student dynamic and the relationship dynamic that it seems to be in this mobile game, there's not really anything that seems to be unique. It seems like a lot of other mobile games here. You build parties, you fight enemies, you level up, you learn abilities, etc., etc. Pretty generic, mobile RPG thing, it seems like. So the only thing we can really focus on in terms of what we have so far is the master-student dynamic or the relationship dynamic as well. And I don't know if those are meant to be actually in the game. Maybe the characters are literally referred to as a master, or if that's a term they're using for the patent that could refer to party leader potentially. But I don't know why they wouldn't just say party leader. When it comes to Square Enix, I can't think of anything. They have a lot of different games and shit under their umbrella. Like, nothing comes to mind for me when I think of a master-student dynamic for their games. Maybe if you guys are out there are, like, super fans of Square Enix and play pretty much all the games they drop, like, is there anything that comes to mind when you think of that? And whatever this mobile game is could be, like, a brand new thing, like a brand new IP that's mobile game specific, and maybe that's why it doesn't make any sense, because it's something that we've never seen before from them. Square Enix has a lot of trademarks out there these days that float around that don't really seem to go to anything, and one of them could be in regards to whatever this mobile game is. Maybe Forspoken, Heroes Bonds, something like that could be what the title of this mobile game is, because as we learned with Friday's like live stream they did for Final Fantasy XIV, like Forspoken and Heroes Bonds weren't in regards to Final Fantasy XIV's expansion, at least as of yet. The expansion they revealed was called Endwalker, but those could still be for 14, maybe just sometime down the road. People have discussed, maybe jokingly at times, about, Ever Crisis or The First Soldier being some sort of mobile game for FF7 or Remake. I said before that it's not what I wanted. I think specifically I said, get it the fuck out of my face. But if that ends up being something, like if this ends up being something, it doesn't seem like it'd be FF7 related, but if there is an FF7 mobile game at some point, I hope it's at least interesting. And what I mean by that, an example I can give is like that Kingdom Hearts mobile game that came out a little bit ago, like, it had story to it, right? There's lore to it. It gave you backstory on characters. That rhythm game for Kingdom Hearts that came out, Melody Memories, it's not a mobile game, I don't think. It's on console. But, it's a weird, rhythm game for Kingdom Hearts, but it had a story to it. There was lore to it to be had. And that's what I hope, if there's ever something for FF7 related, and I don't want a mobile game for it, I'm so against it. But if there is, I hope it's at least, like, gives us something instead of just, like, a generic gacha game, right? Trying to make money off the community. Well, as I say that, if they're putting out a mobile game, it is to make money, obviously, but I hope it's, like, story-driven, lore-driven, similar to, like, Before Crisis back in the day for mobile phones, right? Turks-based game, they give us a lot of backstory for a lot of characters. That's the only way it'd be, like, interesting or save it for me, like, as a FF7-related mobile game, is if it's actually giving me some lore that's canonical. Anyways, I've pretty much said my piece on this, so I'll have everything linked below. Like, if you want to check up on the patent yourself, read over it, it's massive. There's a lot of text to it, and it's a lot of shit that I just personally don't understand. But what do you think this is? Like, what does it seem like it would be if you are somebody that plays a lot of Square Enix games? Because I can't even come up with an idea. But the main takeaways from all this is that there's another new trademark from Square Enix floating around out there called the Owl Dragon Wars. It was filed in Japan and Australia last year. And there's a mobile game coming up. Another mobile game from Square Enix at some point. Remains to be seen what it is. By the way, my dudes, that is the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll see more Square Enix news, I guess. We're kind of turning into not just specifically about FF7 Remake these days. Turn on notifications. Follow me on Twitter, dashingdavidYT. I'm on Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description. Into the outro. Later, guys.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more. And nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in